So today I want to share with you the story of Garrett Campbell, who less than 3 months ago was selling his program for barely $1,000, had only a few clients, and they weren't getting the best results. He didn't really know how to market himself further, and he was just kind of stuck at that level where he knew he had something special, but he just didn't know how to market it, didn't know how to get great results for his clients, but he frankly didn't know how to sell because he was a sales rep. So he just needed that marketing piece and that delivery piece. And when you took these things and you merge them together, within only 3 months, he had a $20,000 single week in his business, basically just tweeting ideas about sales, talking to people over DM, hopping on calls, and making offers for his program. So in today's interview, you're going to learn a lot about how to replicate these results for yourself, and you're going to understand, how to really rapidly scale a consulting or coaching business. Garrett's been a lot of fun to work with. He was actually at our live event in February, and so it was cool to meet him in person, and it's really even cooler to share his results with my audience here online. So hopefully you guys get a lot of value from this. Watch it all the way through. Watch the whole thing because it's going to be a pretty valuable interview for everybody to observe and soak up and learn from, because Garrett's gotten a lot of results really quick, and he's well on track for being $1 million a year online coach. So enjoy. All right, everyone. Welcome back to another interview. This time we have Garrett Campbell. Welcome, dude.
Yo, how's it going, man?
It's super good, man. Congratulations on your recent success. I know things are going incredible for you. It's been a huge, even an amazing addition to the community. You're killing it, as I'm sure the viewer knows from the intro, but just share what's happened in your own words recently, and what's come of working with us.
So as of very recently, like the past week, I've done 17 grand cash collected, 20 grand if we got 3K coming, so whatever, we'll call it 20K, which is the biggest week I've ever done. Massive. And honestly, I think what attributed it is we literally had a phone call last week, possibly 2 weeks ago. And just to give, I guess, the viewer context on my background. So I've been in sales for the past 3 years, just as a sales rep. Done a couple $1,000,000 in sales. And I've kind of just got tired of realizing if I don't keep picking up this phone, money does not come in. And I wanted to build my own thing. So basically I have a sales training and then build and scale sales teams for businesses. So kind of two different offers there. And yeah, I had a call with Trey, and I guess the reason I even work with Trey is that I know sales, but as you guys know, or maybe do not know, there's marketing, there is sales, and then there's client fulfillment as 3 aspects of every single business. And I know this 1/3 sector. Trey knows all the damn sectors. So it was I needed him for marketing. I needed him for client fulfillment because it's not something I've ever done. And that's literally the sole reason why I hired him, and it is paying off very well. But with that being said, yeah, we had a call a week, maybe 2 weeks ago. And I was dude, you tell your story so well. I feel in a couple weeks of following him, I know all the main stories of his life and every single turning point and everything about him. So I was how can I transcribe that to myself and my own story, and how do I write out my story, because I feel I have a pretty normal story and pretty basic, nothing really crazy. And then he was tell me your story. And then he's here are the main points. It's this, 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 and this. And it really stood out to him, which I just thought was, I don't know, normal stuff. So I wrote, so the Twitter is my main platform.
Which is cool because, not to interrupt, but so many of our audience members assume that we just do Facebook or just do YouTube, but
right,
moving in a direction where we've got ideas that, it doesn't really matter the platform. We teach Facebook because often the students have a hard time taking the concepts and applying them to another platform on their own, which is why you went straight for working with me one-to-one. So
yeah, but yeah, Twitter I feel is kind of in the sense of YouTube, where it's I feel TikTok is the lowest quality audience in the sense where you can have 1 million followers, but it doesn't mean they really like you and they're a cult following. YouTube is much like that, and I feel Twitter is very similar to YouTube in that sense. So it's I have 2,500 or 2,200 followers at the moment, but they are all very hyper niche, my ideal client, which is phenomenal. But anyway, he kind of layered out okay, dude, here are the main points for you. And then I kind of just brain dumped okay, everything I know about, just kind of writing out for myself and ironing out like those stories. And then I wrote tweets on those stories, and I wrote actual tweets for like 25% of like the main components we talked about. And I had people, I booked like 25 calls in like 2 or 3 days, which is
So
absurd.
killer.
Yeah. And I had people just like, dude, like I resonated with your story like so much. Like I literally went through that
Awesome.
exact same thing. And I don't know, I just felt like we just had some sense of like connection. And I was like, that's what I was looking for.
It's amazing.
And it's like exactly what I've found.
Yeah.
And
You can
yeah,
create that
I
connection. Like a lot of people think that it's, by chance that people have that like internet charisma. No, you can create that, and it's something that, we're good at creating for our clients and for ourselves now too. And even though I don't have the largest audience, I've got like a cult following of like
yeah,
2,000 people, you know what I mean? And
yep,
so it's like, I've got that like tribe. So yeah.
yeah, without a doubt. But yeah, I mean, I started working with him. Is that January? I think like I
Just
kind of
about.
just got this started like January, and I was kind of in like beta test mode, as in like I'd taken on a couple clients. Honestly, just pretty low price points, just kind of more so just to get the testimonials. I really didn't care about the money.
You were charging like a couple $100, right? Or even like under $1,000 still at the
Yeah,
time.
I was charging like $1,000 or like $1,500 or so.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was charging pretty low amount, just honestly more so to get the testimonials and get just some client base there.
Yep. And
And
then even when
then
I reached out to you, you were like, "Oh, I feel like I hate to put you on like the spotlight." I was like, I reached out to you and you're like, "Oh, I could do it myself." I'm like, no, like I'm gonna convince you to like join and trust me, it'll be worth it. And then 2.5 months later, you are client event and you're on the channel and everything. And so yeah, dude, it's been a great relationship. It's been a great relationship.
yeah, absolutely. And I knew like I remember distinctly like on our sales call, I'm like, you have the skills that I do not have. And like I know that working with you would be beneficial. But I
Yeah.
have a network of like people in like all varieties of like different aspects of like entrepreneurship, but like a friend like helping you a little here and there, and someone where like their sole main focus is helping you scale is two
Yeah.
drastically different things.
Absolutely.
Um, yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah. Like the growth of my business banks on you succeeding. So I have selfish vested interest in making sure that you succeed.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. But yeah, literally January or so, just to give like actual, I guess, numerical kind of like started here I am now. January, I did like 10 grand, 12 grand or something like that. I was literally just checking Stripe. And this month I'm at like 40 grand cash collected. And there's a couple days left and I got a decent amount of calls booked. So I probably should be my first like 50K month, which is the biggest month I've like ever had. Which is phenomenal.
It's super solid. Yeah. My goal for you has always been the 6-figure month. I think you could do it by
Yeah.
the end of the year. I think you do it by the end of the year.
Give me 3 months. I don't think it'll even take till end of year, because like every month is like another 10 15K like every single month, and it's just like this thing is not
Well,
slowing
why do you
down.
think that is? Why do you think that is? I think that's going to be the natural question of the viewer, because I think they know your niche, they know what you sell. Why do you think it's growing so steadily?
um I think just more social proof, as in the more clients I get, the more results they see, and it's just this vicious domino effect of like
Yep.
I close more clients, I build my story more, I build a bigger following, and then they see people winning, and then it just the more testimonials they see, the more calls get booked, and then the more deals get closed, and it just continues to grow and grow and grow. And the more this happens, like the more I look like the authority in the space.
Yep. Totally. Do you think there's any secrets that you've discovered to like putting out those testimonials, or is it literally just like, yeah, just screenshot them, pop them out there? Is there a timing element to it? I'm just probing questions, you know what I mean?
No,
Is there a
honestly,
timing element, or
I
is it just like the more you get, the more successes, the more you can promote? It really is just that simple.
yeah, I don't know. I'm not a very flashy guy like at all. So I'm just freaking screenshot what got put in my Slack. Like you the same stuff that's on your Instagram stories, like screenshot
Yeah.
it when in Slack. Like I do like
Yeah.
interviews and stuff like this as well.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, aside from like sales, like pretty much how you do marketing, in the sense of like being pretty vulnerable and just like telling your story, and like what works and what doesn't is like what I share. I think we're both relatively black and white people.
Yep.
That's pretty much how I do marketing and posting. I learned basically everything from you. I think, and then also like client fulfillment, as like, I think this is something I struggle with early, was I have all the knowledge in my head, but conveying that to someone in like a structured manner wasn't really something I had. I was like, oh, I know sales. We'll just hop on a Zoom call and just talk. And some people are at different skill levels, and structuring out kind of the course and like, video aspect of things and making that as efficient as possible is not something I had. So you really helped me get up to speed with that, especially just seeing like how, when I started working with you, I didn't even know you had any course content at all. I was like, oh, cool, this is a plus. And it's like phenomenal. There's like hours upon hours of content in there, on literally every single aspect of the business you could possibly need. So going through all of that and just like identifying my weaknesses and then learning from that, and then booking calls with you like one-on-one, because I'm in SB. If you guys are watching this, just get into SB, like it's worth it. And just finding out my weaknesses, watching the course content on those weaknesses, and then booking one-on-one calls with you and your team on those weaknesses has helped me drastically. Like I have your team like to help me with every aspect of everything. Like
They're sharp, dude.
feel like, what's that?
Said they're sharp.
Yeah, your whole team is really sharp. Like I just got on a call with like Ben this morning, because systems and everything like that are just not my strong suit. Zapier makes me want to punch a hole in a wall. I just, oh my gosh. I tried to make a Zap for like an hour, and I was like, Ben, like help, please. And we got on a call. He does this in like 10 minutes. He's like, need anything else? Like we have 20 minutes left on the call. So, but yeah, really helpful to have your team to help out.
Yeah, huge. It's cool, man. So I feel like the question that's naturally going to come up is, for my audience, it's just me trying to understand my audience and make sure that this video is entertaining and educational and helpful, and actually is like writing my audience a check. That's my goal. I'm writing an audience a check every time I make one of these interviews. So like, what specifically changed in your technique and your strategy from before you joined to now? Are there, if you had to pick like 2, maybe 3 main things, what would those things be, and how would you instruct others to make those same changes so they can maybe see a similar jump to yourself?
I guess like clarity.
Clarity on what?
Like everything. Like it's pretty black and white. You book calls and you close calls, and you get them make them happy and give them what they want. And like, that's really it. And I think just from going from I'm a salesperson to, oh my God, I manage every single component of the business, which I knew I was capable of doing, or maybe that's just my ego. But it was just like really understanding like, this is all you have to do. And it not having to be hard, was something I really gained. And then going to like your mastermind, like the in-person event, I think was just kind of like the icing on the cake, because I was like, I have like a sales, like I sell something as like a sales rep as well. And I do like 15 grand or so a month with that. So I think there's just like comfort and being like, oh, I could just close these deals and yada, yada. But like last week I had my biggest day I've ever had, where I made like $7,500 in a day. And it was like, I cannot take enough phone calls in a day to, as a sales rep, make that much money ever. Honestly, because I do things in like more of a group setting, that's honestly not very much added work for me to make $7,000. So it's just kind of like a light bulb moment that like the upside and like putting more emphasis in this and building my own thing, there's obviously drastically more upside in doing that. And then just seeing everyone at the mastermind, like in all variety of different niches, whether it's, I mean, you have clients in so many different niches.
Yeah, it's wild.
And just talking with all them and seeing people at different levels, like, because I was kind of in the middle, I guess, as far as like, I usually like outside of this mastermind and like everything, I feel like a big fish in a small pond, which is why I'm moving to Miami in like a couple months. is I didn't feel like that. And it was really nice to see people that are doing 100 grand a month, and like beyond, and just seeing how they operate. And honestly, the biggest thing I gathered from like your mastermind event was the emphasis on team, and how important it is to hire the right people, and just systemize everything, build a team. And like, that was just like the biggest thing I gathered. Everyone doing numbers, and obviously yourself included. Team was like so much focus was on that. So like this week is like my main focus is just hiring like the best possible people I can
Who you
find.
hiring?
Sales rep. A lot of sales reps are, in my network, and I know I'm probably going to hire from within the training, which is cool.
Yep, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, hiring from within is always a good play because they believe in your stuff, and literally every single one of your team is hired within.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm hiring like a just grade A sales rep. And then like on the back end, like I'm building and scaling like 7 freaking sales teams right now. So it's probably like, and I don't know, like an account manager or just someone to like manage all the partnership deals. It would be kind of like an admin, like, and manages the partnership aspect of things would be like my next hire. And I have a couple candidates for like that as well.
Cool. Nice, dude. Yeah, some smart hires for sure. Appointment setter.
Yeah, I could hire an appointment setter. I may just have my sales guy just be in my Twitter. I probably have like 40 grand sitting in my Twitter DMs right now. So
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Solid, dude. Well, yeah, it's pretty straightforward. It's basically just, it sounds like the things that you wanted to understand was just like, all right, I want a predictable means of getting more attention and actually turning that attention into calls, which we filled that gap with just, basic organic strategy. I mean, most platforms are generally the same. The principles apply across the board, and then telling your story well. So we kind of filled that gap with it. And then on the delivery end, you said you were just doing a lot of one-to-one. It wasn't very structured. You didn't really know how to get results. And because you didn't know how to get results, you weren't able to market results you were getting for your clients, which then we were unable to initiate that feedback loop of more clients leading to more results, leading to more clients. And so we were able to come in and say, all right, Garrett, this is how you run your program. This is the structure of it. And this is actually how you generate a good, return on your investment for your clients. And now you're saying the final step is really team. So you kind of fill the marketing gap, the story gap, the delivery gap, and ensuring clients return and that they love the experience. And now the next gap you're filling is team, putting the right people in place. And what, you think that'll get you to $1 million a year or so?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely the goal.
Cool.
And I think as far as like marketing goes, I know I can flash a couple little numbers and stuff and be like, oh, I'm making 15 grand a month as a sales rep, buy my stuff. But like, I don't want to sacrifice like how do I even word this? I don't know. I don't want to sacrifice like my reputation and like be that guy just to like make a buck.
Well, yeah, I gotta tell you, man, like the whole look at my success, buy my things as my success model only goes so far. Also, like I know that we're both, like principled men, and like I don't really want to like build a life around my business. Like I don't want to buy nice things just to show that I bought nice things just so people buy my stuff.
Yeah,
I'm not about that. And so like I'd rather literally like people buy our programs because of the results that our clients are getting. I think that's so dope. I so much prefer it that way.
Yeah, just like I don't know. I wouldn't like feel good about marketing that way. Like, yeah, I'm moving to Miami in a couple months, and yeah, I have a Tesla on the way, and yeah, I can flash all that stuff and do numbers and cool. But that's not really how I live. Like, I'm not a very like flashy guy. Like, I have a freaking, my apartment's like $600 a month. I have a 2011 Chevy Malibu, and like I'm not a flexy, flashy guy. Like, I just want to be the guy that's like, wow, he's like authentic and he does numbers and he's pretty humble about it. And that's honestly what I gathered from you, and probably a good reason as to why like we work together. And I've just seen the domino effect of other guys that look at my car, look at this, look at that, and then in turn they get those type of clients.
Oh
And
yeah,
it's
dude.
like,
And it attracts a whole lifestyle. Like this is something, a conversation needs to happen at some point in this industry, or like, I mean, I don't even know if it needs to happen in this industry. Maybe just, whenever you're selling somebody something, especially something that's like business coaching, really like business, there's so many principles and worldviews and perspectives that go into helping somebody grow their business. And, at the end of the day, you're leading people towards your way of thinking. And so you have to very honestly ask yourself, even if it means sacrificing more money, in my view, you have to ask yourself if you are leading people towards a way of thinking that you think benefits them over the long term, you know? And like
yeah,
I'm still 22, so I'm super young. And so I don't know everything, but I do think that guys like you and, not to pat my own back, but guys like myself, where we're taking care of ourselves on a higher level, and not letting ourselves slip into the temptation of like what money does or whatever.
yeah,
It's like we can actually lead people, because it's like, it's not just, oh, I'll help you make some more money in your business so that you can then, you know, I don't know, go buy yourself a nice car or whatever. Um, yeah, and it's interesting because like it works, and it's like a part of why I do it is like the only reason why is because it works, but I don't really care about like I really don't. And I honestly think the only reason I keep the car at this point or any of the nice stuff is just because like A, either tax write-offs, or B, like it's actually like good store of cash, like, with inflation
yeah.
and everything, like luxuries are actually like good places to store cash right now.
Well,
So
absolutely.
yeah. Yeah, dude. Well, cool. Any major or like main advice for the viewer? Like, most people are going to watch these videos are going to be pretty much beginners. And when I say beginners, it's like half and half. I'd say most either have a business and are trying to scale it. And the
Okay.
other half are just like younger guys that are just like wanting to get into business and make some money and, set themselves up. So I don't know, what's your advice for people that are wanting to replicate your results, in their situation?
Learn how to sell.
Yeah.
Honestly, like aside from like everything, like learn how to sell. Because regardless of like whatever avenue you happen to like get in, it is a skill that will take you anywhere and everywhere. Whether that's literally just a job interview and like that's what you're doing. Like you need to be able to sell yourself as the guy that can do that role. Or even like once you're a sales guy, like I said, there's marketing, sales, and client fulfillment for every single business ever. So when you are the sales guy, you get to see kind of how the marketing aspect of the business works, how the sales aspect works. Like, oh, when we run ads or have a different VSL or target people a little differently with the marketing, we get a better prospect and our close rate increases. And then we get better clients and get better results. And then you kind of just understand how the whole business operates. And then from there, you can decide for yourself, like, do I start my own thing? Like, because I know how everything works now. Do I focus? Maybe I like marketing more than I like sales. And then I could start a marketing agency or, marketing, whatever. I think just knowing how to sell, whether you are your own business owner or you just are literally like, I don't know anything and I want to do something and I want to make money, like sales is a great avenue to start.
Cool. Yeah, I would agree, dude. I think I went through like, I've heard it said before, like everybody has like their Rocky montage of like a season of just reps over and over and over again,
Yeah.
and like for me, like taking like over 1,000 sales calls for my own stuff in like 2 years when I was like 19 to 21, that's
Mhm.
definitely like, that was definitely my just like, it's a total blur in my head now, but it's like I made a ton of money and also I put in a ton of reps, and it's cool now. I'm in a place in my business where like it's so ingrained, and I could just hop on a call and not have been on a call for 2 weeks and then just run it through. Like, my one of our sales reps right now, he's like unplugged. He's like doing a trip. He's like climbing mountains and stuff. So
Cool.
he's totally unplugged right now. And so I've been
Mhm.
pick up some slack, and it's like it's a good feeling, like knowing that the muscle's always there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I can tell, like, my fiance, I'm like, yeah, we'll never like, money's the least of our worries. That's fine. We're good on money. Like at this point, it's just about like playing the game and enjoying it versus like, oh, I got to pay the bills. Because like
Yeah.
with guys like you, or when you have a decent-ish offer, like a half decent offer, you're half decent at sales, and you're half decent at marketing, you can make more than most dentists. I mean, really. So yeah, dude. Well, cool. Thanks for being on the channel, man. Good breaking
dude.
down your results, and hopefully this was a valuable interview for the viewer.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. We'll definitely do one. I'm sure in like a couple months when I'm at kind of $1 million a year, metrics, or already at $1 million a year.
Yeah, no
It'll be
doubt. When
really
you cross 100,000 a month, I'll have you back on the channel, 100%.
all right. I'm here for it.
Cool. All right, man. Well, appreciate this, and you're a lot of fun to work with. And I'm actually not going to end the meeting. I'm just going to end the recording, so then we'll have a sec to hang out.
All right, hell yeah.